I never imagined my life would take such a turn. It was a typical evening, and the house was filled with the sounds of laughter as my daughter, Sarah, and her husband Mark visited for the weekend. We had spent the day together, sharing stories and enjoying each other's company. But as the night wore on and everyone settled down to sleep, I found myself restless. After tossing and turning in bed, I decided to get a glass of water. The house was quiet, the only sound being the soft creaking of the floorboards beneath my feet as I made my way to the kitchen. The moonlight streamed through the window, casting a gentle glow over the room. As I poured myself a glass of water, I heard a noise behind me. I turned to find Mark standing in the doorway, his silhouette framed by the dim light. "I didn't mean to startle you," he said, a hint of a smile playing on his lips. "I couldn't sleep either." "It's okay," I replied, my heart racing. There was something about the way he looked at me that sent a thrill down my spine. "Just getting some water." He stepped into the kitchen, and the air between us felt charged. "Mind if I join you?" he asked, moving closer. I nodded, trying to ignore the fluttering in my stomach. We stood side by side, the tension palpable. As we sipped our drinks, I could feel his warmth radiating next to me, and I couldn't help but steal glances at him. He was handsome, with an easy charm that had always drawn me in, but tonight felt different. The atmosphere was thick with unspoken words. "Linda," he said, breaking the silence, "can I ask you something?" "Of course," I replied, my heart pounding. "Do you ever feel like there's something more between us?" His voice was low, almost a whisper, and I felt a rush of heat flood my cheeks. I had felt it too, but I had pushed those thoughts aside, knowing how wrong it was. "I don't know what you mean," I stammered, though I knew I was lying. The truth was, I had fantasized about him more times than I could count. He took a step closer, his eyes locked onto mine. "I can't help but feel drawn to you, Linda. It's wrong, but it feels so right." In that moment, I made a choice. I reached out, brushing my fingers against his arm, and the electricity between us ignited. "Maybe we should explore this," I suggested, my heart racing with both fear and exhilaration. Before I could think twice, he leaned in, and our lips met in a soft, tentative kiss. It was a kiss that felt both thrilling and terrifying, filled with all the unspoken words and feelings we had kept hidden. The world outside faded away, leaving just the two of us in our secret bubble. As the kiss deepened, I felt a rush of desire wash over me. I could feel his hands on my waist, pulling me closer, and I melted into him. The kitchen, once a place for mundane tasks, transformed into a sanctuary of passion. "Are you sure about this?" he murmured against my lips, his breath warm and inviting. I nodded, my heart racing. "Yes, I want this." With that, he gently lifted me onto the kitchen counter, and I felt a rush of excitement at the unexpected intimacy of the moment. The cool surface against my skin contrasted with the warmth of his presence. Our kisses became more passionate and intense as we surrendered to the connection. The charrette sound of the clock ticking in the background faded away, and all that mattered was the connection we were sharing. I could feel his hands exploring my body, igniting a fire within me that I hadn't felt in years. I was aware of the risk, but the thrill of being caught only heightened my excitement as we moved together. The world outside faded away, leaving just the two of us in our secret bubble. I felt alive, desired, and free. The kitchen became our private escape, a place where we could indulge in our forbidden connection without fear of judgment. After what felt like an eternity, we finally pulled away, breathless and exhilarated. I looked into Mark's eyes, and I could see the mix of desire and uncertainty reflected back at me. "What now?" I asked, my voice shaky. He smiled, brushing a strand of hair behind my ear. "We go back to bed, like nothing happened." I nodded, knowing that we had crossed a line that could change everything. But in that moment, I didn't care. I felt a rush of adrenaline as I hopped off the counter. Smoothing my clothes and trying to regain my composure, we quietly made our way back to our respective rooms, the thrill of our secret lingering in the air. As I lay in bed, my heart still racing, I couldn't help but smile. I had indulged in a moment of passion that felt both exhilarating and terrifying, and I knew that this was just the beginning of a dangerous desire that would change everything. If this story resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Your support means everything to me and helps us create a space where we can share, reflect, and grow together.